Hello and welcome to my show This Abroad Life. This is your own host Fajinio talking about the abroad study journey. So if you are planning to apply for abroad study, then this show will provide you an insight about what's the current situation so that you guys can get an idea of what's going on over here. And for those who are already here, they will get an idea of what they need to do after they get here so that they won't struggle as a lot of people did when they just came here. And in today's episode, I'm going to discuss about why it is really important to pay proper attention while selecting the institutes that will assist you to apply abroad. So the institutes that will help us to apply abroad, they play a crucial role in determining whether our life is going to be easy or difficult in this foreign land. So it's really important to research before you select a particular institute to apply, because I have had both good and bad experience with the institutes. And one of the bad thing about these institutes that are not reliable is that they can give a false start, and if they give a false start, then even though you are going to the destination, which is ultimately joining your friends in abroad study, but if they give a false start, then you might face a long time to actually come here and study and fulfill your dream. So it's gonna be tough, and some of them can also give wrong information, because what basically institutes do is that they get commission from the universities or colleges to which they send their students. That's how they get paid. That's why we need to be super clear while selecting which institutes. We don't want to just rush and just go with our friends randomly to some random institute. There's also another option of applying yourself to the university or colleges you want to apply, but that's gonna take a lot of time and research, and most of the college or universities prefer institutes because they are professionals. So today I'm going to explain my both experiences, both good and bad, with the institutes. The main important insight that I want to give is that you don't need to rush. You need to research whether those institutes are good or not. So how do you research? One is to ask your fellow friends who already applied through those institutes, and they will tell you whether those institutes are good or not. And another can be by just going there and by just talking, you will get an idea of whether those institutes are reliable or not. One of the important thing, or one of the important information that I want to give you is, you don't believe what your friends say or what the people from the institutes say right away, because they might not be telling the truth. I know it's a tough process, but visit a bunch of institutes and ask your friends how was the experience, so that your experience will be better. And I did my Master of Information and Communication Technology Advanced from the University of Wollongong in Australia, and it was quite expensive. My study was quite expensive, but that's the choice I made. Uh, I wanted to have an experience of studying a big university. Our lecture halls were like auditorium halls. So, and university was so big that when we had to go from one point to another point, or like from one lecture to another room of another lecture for another room, then it would take like sometimes 10 minutes. So I wanted to have that experience, and I chose my university myself, so I didn't regret in any part of it. So back to institutes. Today I'm going to share my experience with the institutes, which was both good and bad. First of all, the bad experience, and right at the moment while I was planning to go for abroad study, I went to one of the institutes. They claimed to be one of the best institutes because they had been there for quite long time. And one of my friend took me there, and one of the important false information they gave me at that time was that they said me that I couldn't take dependent with me. Basically, I couldn't take my wife with me, and I had to apply after a while for my wife. And at first, I had to go myself single, but that's not always true. They didn't say or explain to me that at that moment. And if I hadn't visited like multiple institutes, then I would be under impression that that's true, that we don't get chance to take our dependents with us while we come here. We want to come with our wives because they give us moral support to us. But the person from the institute told us that we couldn't do that, and that's one of the false start they can give us. And however, whether or not you can take dependents also depends upon the university, whether they accept that students are planning to take their dependents with them or not, because it I think in some way affects whether there is a chance of visa or not. But that's quite a rare case. If you have everything good, then getting a visa is not that much of a big problem. And another event that my friends faced was very, strange, and because they did IELTS in that institute, and they were prepared enough to apply from that same institute. And one of my friend was brainwashed, and the institutes told very good things about how you can apply and how you can go and work there, and these are the best universities and all those things. And he also took other friends over there, so there were like 4 or 5 friends planning to apply from that institute. However, the most notorious thing that the institute did was they took the certificates of my friends and kept it in their office, which was, for me, it was one of the dangerous things to do, because we can't hand over our certificates to the institute themselves. We need to be super careful with the certificates, and that's why I was like scared about them handling their own certificates to the institutes. And I asked my friend, why did you do that? But as time passed, the promises that they made were like unable to be fulfilled, because they were only given like 1 or 2 universities for applying our study abroad in Australia. And within those 1 or 2 universities, it was really difficult to select, because most of the universities they provided as an option were really expensive universities, and that's why it created dilemma and confusion. And it was a good luck that I never went to that institute to apply for my study. I was lucky, I guess, because I had my friend who suggested me about another institute from which he was also applying, but he was applying from that institute from a different city. So the name of the institute is Global Reach, and he was applying from Kathmandu, and I was in Pokhara. And uh, I told him about the situation that I am also applying abroad. So where is he applying, and do you have any suggestions? And I explained him about the situation that I went to an institute and they said that we couldn't take our dependents, and he was like surprised because that's not the situation. And that's why he suggested me to go to this that institute which is Global Reach. And it was just opening their branch office in Pokhara, and we were very lucky that at that time they just opened their office. Because from my experience, at that time, none of the other institutes were good enough as comparison to that institute. And when I reached there, the people who worked there were super helpful, and they gave us insights about what's the process in our first meeting. They also gave us a list of universities that they can uh, send us to in Australia, and the list was huge as compared to my friends who had to hand over their certificates. They had just like two or three universities, and also they didn't force us to select any particular university. So we asked them which universities might be good enough, but they didn't force us to select some particular expensive university so that they will get some huge commission and all those things. So it was very clear from them from the first time. It was very helpful and lucky. So I got chance to choose my own university from the list they provided, and they gave me chance to choose three universities. I chose Charles Sturt University from Sydney and University of Wollongong in Wollongong, and I also chose Deakin University in Melbourne. In these three universities, I got some scholarship from the Deakin University from Melbourne, and because the university was quite expensive, the scholarship that I got only resulted in the total fees from the University of Wollongong, which is also quite expensive. I was interested in Deakin University at first, but later I was not interested in that because they didn't allow dependent. I wanted to get like university experience in a big campus, and in Charles Sturt University in Sydney, it was not possible because it was just a study center in Sydney. That's why I wanted to go to the University of Wollongong, and the course also was perfect for me. So this is one of the advantage that institute like Global Rates gave me, because I didn't have to just depend upon the options they gave me, but I was able to create my own chance and own option and just present to themselves. Uh, the downside of institutes like these can be because they don't charge any processing fee. At least at that time, I had to do a lot of paperwork myself. They provided me guidance about what to do, where to do, but I had to do a lot of paperwork. But it was good because I knew a lot of thing about what's going on, what I am doing, so that I get an idea of if anyone is doing next, then I can just tell them, uh, you need to go here and you need to do this and all those things. And another good thing is that they didn't ask me to keep my certificates in the office. That's why it was a good thing. That's why at last I convinced all of my friends, those who were applying for another institute, to just come to that institute, particular institute that I was applying, which is the Global Reach Pokhara branch. And luckily, because of our hard work and the institute's hard work, all of my 5 or 6 friends are here in Australia, and it's a very good experience. And I believe that they are still very good. And those institutes who charge some money for processing and all those things, so from my other friends' experience, I think they're charging those monies so that they do most of the paperwork themselves. And it doesn't mean that they are bad or those things, but for me personally, I enjoyed a lot doing paperwork myself because everything was under my control. So here you go, my friends. This is the experience that I had with institutes. So you need to be very clever in selecting which institutes you want to apply for. If you selected some wrong institute, then you might get into a lot of trouble, and sometimes it can be the case that your visa might also be rejected. That's why it's very important to research about the institute from where you are applying for, and you need to ask your friends who have already applied from that institute and already been to Australia, and they know that whether the things that the institute told are correct or not. It's really important to get an idea of how the institute is. Another thing that you can do to know whether these institutes are good or not is you need to spend some time with them and ask what's the thing we need to do, and you know after you spend quite a lot amount of time, then you will get an idea of what they are doing and whether the thing they are doing are correct or not. Having said that, big offices are like busy, because after I went to Kathmandu from Pokhara to submit my documents, so they were like super busy. That's why they couldn't allocate more time for us. Having said that, this is the end of my podcast for today. If you want to follow my podcast, then you can go to thisabroadlife.com and listen to my podcast on various platforms. And I'm just trying to help those who are planning to apply abroad or those who are already abroad by giving my insights about the experience I faced, so that you don't need to face the same experience and get bothered with the consequences. If you are liking my podcast, then you can support me on patreon.com/Virginio by becoming a member, and keep following me. So for your information, I also have a YouTube channel. You can just search Virginio. In that YouTube channel, I do a lot of reviews, tech reviews, and vlogging, and all those types of cool stuffs. If you want to know answers of specific questions, or you want to know some specific situations of abroad, then you can leave me a comment on Instagram or Twitter, and I will try to find the solution of those queries and present it as a next episodes in future. Having said that, enjoy and keep tuned. Thanks.